All right, now it's 2026. It's March. It seems like the year is already halfway the fuck over now, doesn't it? This year seemed to go by so quick, so fast. And I just closed my eyes and it was the end of January, the beginning of February. Now it's getting ready to be the end of March. Everybody had high hopes for 2026. All right? Some of that shit ain't gonna pop off until 2029, so the fuck it seems. Okay? Because life gets easier within once you put into practice the wisdom that you have obtained. But that shit sure as hell does not mean that life is easier without. It sure shit does not mean that life is going great all around you. The key to it is learning how to keep your composure in fucking chaos. The key to it is learning how to not lose your shit around and with shitty people, places, and things. Because one thing about it, and two things for sure, you cannot control what you cannot control. Only your fucking self. And in 2026, this year has taught me how to release. Because for a long time, I kept holding on to shit that I wanted to see revenge on. I kept going back to people, places, and things because of not fully being over the situation, the circumstance, or being afraid of the unknown. Because once you have experienced life outside of yourself, knowing that you can't control certain situations and things, or thinking that you can control certain situations and circumstances and things, you try to hold on so tight to what is begging you to let go because it's better. But if you've ever been in a predicament where you were on substances, you were a dependent, you were a codependent, you were homeless, okay? You were in situations living from pillar to post and putting up with bullshit just to survive. You tend to try to hold on to your shit tighter because you don't want to be in a situation where it's like that again. And as hard as that is to admit, it is the stone cold hard truth. It just the fuck is. It just is. All right? If you've ever been in a relationship or a situation where all your shit is just all discombobulated, dysregulated because you're around nothing but some fuck ass chaos, the last thing that you want is to be out of control of that chaos because you don't want it to take you over. But this is the year of 2026, and the key word for me is release. Okay? The key words for me is let go. All right? The key word for me in this year is to teach as well as to learn. Okay? And to apply. That's it. That's all. Because I'm trying to tell you, like I was talking about in previous videos, the healing journey is not linear. That's how people end up going into psychosis because they're not understanding why this shit is still not working. Why am I angrier than I was before? You're angrier because your body is remembering. That muscle memory is a bitch. It remembers all the hurt that you've been through, all the pain that you've been through spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally, financially, and all of the things. It remembers how that feels. So that's reintroducing your body to trauma. But if you don't get go through it to understand yourself better, to be able to release and let go, you'll repress it. And what happens is that repression, my darling, is actually worse than getting over it. So we have to admit to ourselves in 2026, yes, there have been some good parts of my life and there has been some really, really, really fucked up parts. And there has been things that I needed to stop doing in order to let go, in order to release, in order for what it is that I'm saying, that I'm walking in those steps. Like they say, practice what you preach. Because it's easy to talk about it. It ain't easy to follow through. Okay? That's why you got all these motherfuckers coming up nowadays with all this shit being exposed, because there's a whole lot of preaching going on and a whole lot of motherfucking sinning behind those closed doors. That money keeps shit quiet, keeps shit looking smooth sailing, keeps shit covered up. Those folks and followers that are doing the same goddamn shit and or don't know what's going on and just blindly following keeps that shit cloaked. All right. And nobody addresses the elephant in the room. Therefore, people's healing process is stunted. And that shit is coming up and out that soil. So that it's known you're not alone. You're not the only person that this has happened to. Why is everybody on social media with some of the same goddamn stories, the same exact stories or similar stories, similar situations? When you're talking about the abuse that you went through as a child, when you're talking about gang stalking, when you're talking about financial burdens and the people and places and things that try to put you in situations that they knew was going to fuck you up or fuck you over. It's some of us have some of the same stories. And that is meant to teach people that you're not fucking alone, because one of the most hurtful things in this world is to go through life in fucked up situations with nobody. When you look up, nobody is fucking there but you. And so therefore you feel like you're having the weight of the world on your shoulders, which you are. We will not minimize pain over here. Okay? We will address it. But there comes a time where you have to look up and say, okay, if nobody is around when I need them, then I'm going to stop being around for the motherfuckers who ain't around for me. I'm going to start realizing that it's me that has to take care of me. I'm going to start realizing that nobody in this world is going to lift me up. You're going to have more people that support you when you're winning. Very few when you're losing. Okay? And damn sure nobody clapping for you if you're doing better than them, unless they was a part of the supporting team. Unless they faking the funk all up in your shit trying to get a piece of your pie. Hello. All right? So you have to remember that in 2026, in order to let the new shit come in, that's supposed to bless you and give you abundance, you gotta let that shit go. You can't be afraid. You cannot fear. Know that it's here now and just live like that. All right? The best way that you can. And stop trying to be so goddamn perfect and have all that wherewithal and cover up, because the reality is life ain't linear either. Ashe.